All right, thanks for joining me again. Today we're going to be talking about inequalities, which are very similar to expressions and equations. So let's get right into what they are. So the word inequality probably makes you think of unequal. Two things are unequal, they are not equals. So that's what an inequality is. It compares two things that are not equal. All right, instead of an equation which compares two things that are equal. All right, so Joe has $20 and Bill has 5. Joe has more because 20 is greater than 5. In math, instead of using the words greater than, we use this symbol that kind of looks like a sideways caret. All right, and if we were to write this inequality out, it would look like this. 20 is greater than 5. All right. This wide part of our inequality symbol, it kind of looks like a Pac-Man mouth or an alligator mouth or something. The wide part always points towards the larger thing. Okay, so, it's the alligator wants to eat the bigger thing. Okay, um, so that's how we would write it. 20 is greater than 5. Just like in reading, we go left to right. Okay. Um, and the flip side of that, 5 is less than 20. So in math, we would use this symbol, which is simply the greater symbol flipped around. And we would write it like this. 5 is less than 20. All right. The mouth is still eating the larger quantity. Okay, the wide part is still pointing at the larger number. But since we read it left to right, this is 5 is less than 20. It is not 20 is greater than 5. 5 is less than 20. It means the same thing. It's just been flipped around. All right. Moving on. Here are your 4 inequality symbols that you're going to see. Okay. When we have our caret with the wide part pointing to the left, that's a greater than symbol. When the wide part is pointing to the right, it's a less than symbol. Okay, a greater than symbol that is with an underline that's greater than or equal to, and a less than symbol that is underlined that is less than or equal to. Okay, so in all inequalities, we're also still going to be using variables. Now, variables in equations stood for a very specific number that we would have to solve for. Now, variables in inequalities can have multiple values, but it depends on whether or not your variable is going to be greater than or less than a certain number. So starting at the top here, we see this. This is x is greater than 3. That's how we would read that. And that means that x could be any number greater than 3, but not 3 itself. So x could be 3.25. X could be 40. X could be 27 billion. Any number greater than 3, but not 3 itself. All right, here we have x is less than 5. So that means that x could be any number less than 5, but not 5 itself. All right, so 4.5, 2, -7, 3/4, any number less than 5, but not 5 itself. Here we have x is greater than or equal to 10. So x could be any number greater than 10, or it could be 10. All right, so 10 or any number 10 or greater. So x could be 10, x could be 10.5, x could be 100. All right, and finally we have x is less than or equal to 12. So this means that x could be any number 12 or less. So it can be 12, it could be 11, it could be -32. All right, let's talk about graphing inequalities. In order to do this, we use a number line. Let's just get everything going. All right, so we're going to graph our inequalities. We're going to use circles, and we are going to shade our number line in one direction or another. All right, so we use an open circle for greater than or less than, and we use a closed circle for greater than or equal to or less than or equal to. All right, and the reason we do that is because, like with the open circle, that means we're going to circle the number indicated in our inequality. With the open circle, that means that that number is not included, and with a closed circle, that means that that number is included. So you'll see when we do a few. So if your variable is greater than the number, shade to the right, and if your variable is less than the number, shade to the left. So let's try a couple. Let's graph x is greater than 5. So what we do is we circle 5. We put our circle on 5. Now, since this is x is greater than 5, it's going to be an open circle because 5 is not included in the inequality. All right? And our variable here is greater than our number, so we're going to be shading to the right. So this shows us that x could be any number greater than 5. All right, that's what this shows us. Okay, now we're going to graph x is less than or equal to 2. So we circle 2, and we are going to close that in, all right, because 2 could be included here. And since our variable is less than our number, we're going to shade going down here to the left. So it could be any of these numbers here. All right, fairly simple. Let's practice a couple. How many more slides? This is the last slide. Okay, we're going to practice a couple here. X is greater than 2. So we circle 2. It's going to be an open circle, and we're going to shade to the right. Okay, so that's what our graph will look like. X is less than 9. So we circle 9. It's an open circle, and we're going to shade to the left since x is going to be less than 9. X is greater than or equal to 4. All right, close circle because 4 could be included. We're going to shade to the right. X is less than or equal to 3. Close circle on 3. Shade to the left. All right, fairly simple for starters, right? Okay. Thank you for joining me again.